All right, what is up, everybody, and welcome into this week's edition of the South Florida Comedy Calendar. This show where every single week we give you what is happening, what's happened, and what's coming up in South Florida comedy, guys. I am really excited for the interview portion of this week, guys. Our guest is fantastic, and it's one of those guests that if you're a comic down here in South Florida and you're just getting started or you've been seasoned in the game, he's somebody that you need to get some wisdom from, 100%, guys. But before I introduce him, I would like to introduce my co-host. He is the same co-host as he is every single week, the AI man himself, Art Roach. Give it up for my man, Art. How you doing, Art?
Pretty good, Sebi. I didn't think we were going to be filming the episode this week. I thought all these lawyers were here to depose our guest, but we'll get into it later, I guess.
Yeah. Art is holding back a massive strain of hair with that hat. I'm surprised it's staying on his head right now currently, honestly. I thought it would just poof, just like pop off. But the hats on our head do give you a hint as to who our guest is, guys. He has been in the game for so long now. He is one of the funniest comics down here in South Florida, guys. If you ever get a chance to catch him anywhere, in any venue, you got to check him out. I want everybody here in the studio audience to put your hands together and start clapping for my man, Gene Harding.
Dude.
Gene, man, how you doing, bro?
Amazing.
Good to see you, man. I mean, I love the merch. We pulled up to the show today, and we were given many different options as to what we got going on. We got the Hey Doc merch. I mean, you're killing the game right now, man. Anybody who's got merch this nice is killing the game, man. Yeah. That's what's up.
Or they in debt.
Or they're in debt. But they have a strategy to get out of it, and that's what we respect.
For sure.
Here on the Comedy Calendar.
And I like that he even has the MAGA version of the hat. So
yeah. You jumped for that one. You know what I mean?
I bought it for him. I only made one. I only made one in red for you.
Nah, that's perfect, man. Art loves that red. Art loves that. But guys, before we get into the interview, let's go through what happened last week in South Florida comedy, guys. Last week, we had a few really fun shows happening over at the Improv. On Wednesday, early on, we had the New Faces of Comedy, guys. And it was an amazing show. A little bit more of an intimate audience, but man, they were popping, guys. Like, it was so much fun. The energy in there was awesome. I was able to go up a little earlier on the set, and my set went fantastically. Everybody else who I heard that went up had a really fun time as well. Yeah. So, I mean, couldn't have asked for more out of that one. But you had something with Dart Vision, right?
Yeah, special. I mean, obviously, Dart Vision is always there to capture the moment. This month, he had a couple of amazing social media packages. So we'll have some clips coming out in the next couple of weeks. But special shout out, Vanel Martinez, who's a new comedian. He's been really blowing up, bringing out a ton of people to the shows. Cody Stacy and Alejandro Diaz. And our boy Ricky D was there as well. So I have a clip coming out with him and I, a little interview I did with him in front of New Faces. So big shout out to everyone that does New Faces. Next one will be April 26th, which is Easter of next month. Sign up, man, and shout out Ellie for running a good show.
Heck yeah, man, absolutely. Moving on though to the weekend that we had over at the Miami Improv, though, it was an amazing sold out weekend, man. Art, you have a little more information on that weekend. How did it go down and what was it like?
Me encantan los shows latinos que puedo hacer los clips yo mismo. El show ese fin de semana fue de Chente y Drac, un comediante puertorriqueño, amigo del show ahora, amigo del Comedy Ring, y fue súper chévere. Amigo de nosotros, Luis Díaz, se presentó con él uno de los días, y también JD con su flow, que es otro comediante que está subiendo ahora. Súper chévere. Estuvo vendiendo merch del Gallimbo Studios, que es la compañía que lo produce en Puerto Rico. So big shout out to those guys. Y tuvo el fin de semana entero sold out. 4 shows sold out. Fue increíble. Los que atendieron el show, de verdad que son súper gran fans de la comedia. Y, oye, que crece gente rápido.
Fantastic. Didn't Carlos Hernandez also do a set this weekend on those?
Right. Sí, Carlos Hernandez también. Yeah.
There you go, man. It was a really fun weekend, man. His crowds were fantastic. They came out. They were there to laugh and enjoy, and the energy was palpable in that room every time he hit the stage. He did like an hour plus every single night, and I mean, really hats off to him. They have a huge comedy festival coming up, right? And it's going to be at the Improv in June, guys. Get tickets now. If you go on improv.com, you can kind of see it's not only Chente, but it'd be like a bunch of people, a bunch of the comics that are the main Spanish headliners that you see come through the Improv periodically. They're doing a full festival style thing at the beginning. I wish I could deliver this message in Spanish for you guys, but we'll put Spanish captions on this. Yeah, well, Julian, can we do that? Can we get Spanish captions on what I'm saying right now?
Yeah, we can get captions.
We'll just get an AI voice to just do your voice in AI.
We can do
Make your
my
parents
voice
proud.
We can do my voice in AI. That actually.
No, what I will
works
say
better.
though is I am trying to line up a couple of interviews before that June. So hopefully we'll have at least one or maybe a couple of them here in studio.
Love that. I love to hear that. I can't wait to struggle through them. Fantastic. Moving on to this week, though, in South Florida comedy, guys, we have coming back on Monday at 8 p.m. Red Bar, guys. This took a little slight hiatus for a couple of days, or a couple months, I'm sorry, but it is back, and it is back with a vengeance, guys. Manny Garrido is running that room. It starts at 8 p.m. You want to get out there early to make sure you're there for the beginning of the show, because we always put up the killers early on in the evening. So definitely get out there, guys, and check that out. Art, you're going to be out there too, correct?
Yep. I'll be there tonight. I got a couple of shows this week, so I want to get in there and get a nice practice run before the week. So it's gonna be a good time.
Nice, man. Gene, have you ever done Red Bar before?
I have. I don't remember it though, because I used to drink. But I did it a few times.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a brickle kind of it's a stable brickle room where you get the nice mix of brand new tourists, people that are not even aware that there's going to be comedy happening. But then Miami Comedy does a pretty good job of just packing it out with people and Eventbrites and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can't complain. Moving on to Tuesday, though, April Fool's Day, April 1st, we are having a great show happening over at Magic 13 Brewing, guys, ran by Daniela Delfino. This place is a super dope hang. A couple weeks ago, they had midget wrestling. Yeah. It was so much fun. Everybody that I know that went had an amazing time. All the videos and all the clips that I saw were awesome. I'm sure they'll have it back there at some point again, but I think they're going to be doing a lot of different varieties with the space that they have outside, like variety events with the space that they have outside. So that's really, really dope for you guys to look forward to, because not only does it give you an opportunity to come out and just enjoy the brewery and kind of the really good beers that they got there, but also you go to that back patio space where they have a stage and they can have like a really, really dope event out there. Plenty of parking that's free. So you guys definitely, if you want, Tuesday, make your way out there to Magic 13, guys. Heck yeah. On Wednesday, though, we move on to Wednesday. We are going up north. Not North Miami. No, not Fort Lauderdale. We are going way up north, all the way to Naples, and that is for Off the Hook Comedy Club. Tina Frimmel is going to be headlining that, and I think this lineup is going to be a special one for the comedy calendar. Art, do you have any more information on who's performing on that show in Off the Hook?
Absolutely. Very, very thankfully, I will be opening for Tina Frimmel at Off the Hook. It's going to be this week, Wednesday and Thursday. It'll be my first time performing in Naples. It'll be my first time performing at Off the Hook, so I'm super excited. Big shout out, Dennis, the manager there, and Tina for allowing me to do this. I'm excited, man. I'm taking Dark Vision with me. So next week, definitely look for some cool pictures and clips and stuff here on the comedy calendar. And hey, man, comedy calendar is going. We're leaving the Tri-County area, baby. Let's go.
That's all we can ask for, man. And then Thursday, coming back down to Miami, though, on the 3rd of April at 8 p.m. at the Miami Improv, guys, we got Michael Yo coming back into town, the hometown kid coming back into Miami to do another show. It's the Is a True tour, which I think has something to do with something that his mom probably said at some point. I love that title for a tour. Michael Yo, he's one of our favorite comics down here, not only because he's a hometown guy, but he's also a UM fan, and he's a hardcore UM fan. He's got Comics on Canes, which is the podcast that he does that is all about the University of Miami and their football team. Had a great season last year. Looking forward to this season as well with the new additions through the transfer portal and everything. But man, Michael Yo, huge shout out to him coming back to the Miami Improv. It's gonna be a fun show. That's Thursday at the Miami Improv, 8 p.m. guys. Then Friday and Saturday, we're going back up north for some reason. We're going back to Boca Black Box 2.0 because Tina Frimmel is also doing 4 shows there that weekend, and I think the lineup is similar to what was going on at Off the Hook. Am I correct, Art?
That's right. I got booked this weekend also at Black Box 2.0. Have not been there yet, haven't performed there yet, so super excited. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a week of shows, so if anyone wants to come out, throw some love my way, I will definitely appreciate it. I'm excited. It's going to be a good time.
Nice. Gene, have you ever been out there to Boca Black Box?
No.
No? then Boca Black Box, this is the shout out for you guys to definitely book that guy for something because he is one of the funniest comics down here in South Florida.
And you live up in Broward, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh, so there you go. He's a hop, skip, and a jump away, guys. There's gonna be no problemo, guys. 100%. Then this weekend, though, guys, we have a huge show happening over at the Miami Improv, guys. Saturday is already sold out, so if you want tickets, definitely go on MiamiImprov.com right now and scoop up some tickets for Friday because we have Nate Jackson coming through. Super Funny World Tour is the name of the tour that he is going to be bringing down to its most southern leg, I would assume, in Miami. All weekend, guys, this is going to be jam-packed shows. So if you're a comic or if you're someone who wants to come through for a comp, we are sorry. It is going to be packed. We're telling you right now on Monday, Comedy Calendar said because if you wait till the day of, I promise you guys it's going to be sold out.
Yeah.
So
As a matter of fact, Saturday is already sold out.
Right. I did mention that at the rip. I hope you guys were listening. Art wasn't.
I wasn't.
Exactly. But it is already sold out for Saturday. That's why I said scoop up those tickets for Friday if it's still available by the time this even goes up, because I don't know. We might have already sold out. I don't know. But Nate Jackson, guys, this week in Miami Improv, he is doing 5 shows. So if you also want to come on Sunday, I guess Sunday is also available as well, guys. That's going to be this week in comedy, though, in South Florida, guys. Why don't we take a look a little bit ahead into next week on Wednesday, guys? We have a really awesome show that I am lucky enough to be a part of with the Have Nots Comedy Syndicate, guys. We are going to be doing a show out at the Miami Improv, guys. I mean, this lineup is great. Michelle Castro, Tom Chamberlain. We got Don P as well. Brittany Brave, Nary Signs. I mean, you can't ask for very much more out of a comedy show, and especially a Have Not show. It's going to be packed out. It's going to be super tight. So definitely, if you want to get tickets, get them now ahead of time. You can redeem them on MiamiImprov.com. Just go to the website, get your tickets, scoop them up because it's going to be packed out, and eventually those tickets will be off sale for sure. So definitely check it out. That is Have Nots Comedy, guys. But that is on April 9th.
And I will say, it's a stacked bill. I mean, you have Brittany Brave, Nary Signs. I mean, that's like 2 headliners on one bill right there. Everybody else, all of you guys, hold your own weight on stage. So it's going to be amazing, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it as well.
Have you done a Have Not show?
Yeah. I used to do a lot of them, but then I ain't learned Spanish, so they stopped booking me.
Well, I don't know if you so recently in the last couple of months, really. I mean, last year he's doing Dania and Miami, so there's 2 a month now.
Oh, word.
But he's also now working directly with some top acts, like they did. Luis Diaz and Have Nots did a show together where they kind of like merge brands.
Yeah.
So if you definitely something with Don P, if you've been thinking about putting a big show,
I just spoke to him too a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna follow up with that.
That's awesome. I mean, I love the merging of those big brands. You know what I mean? And Lewis filmed, so I don't know exactly how they worked, but during that show, they also set it up where they had cameras and they actually got some good footage, like a whole 30 or 45 minute set.
Nice.
That's what's up. Have Nots is always doing the most to get us comics not only booked and paid, but also giving us the most opportunities to get our stuff filmed and produced. So even on the smaller end, even if you're just doing a set with the Have Nots, you always get really great footage. It always comes with sound quality. You can hear the crowd laughing. And then the clips that they're able to produce after as well. The clips that Dom makes are second to none. So big shout out to Have Nots and the infrastructure that they've created, guys. Not just for South Florida comedy, but for South Florida comics as well. 100%. Another look ahead, a few days after that Have Not show at the Miami Improv on April 12th, guys, we are going to be having the best damn brunch show at the Miami Improv. That is going to be done by yours truly, Cafecito Comedy, baby. It is going to be a really dope show because we are putting together a bunch of themed exact game shows and events for the theme of Easter. So come out, enjoy, have a good time. I know it's a little bit before Easter, but you can start it off to get into the Easter spirit by coming out, getting a few drinks. It's going to be a bit of a matinee show, so it's going to be earlier in the day, guys. I believe it's a 4 p.m. show, so come out and have a good time as a little bit of a brunch, man. It's something different. We haven't done one of these before, so we're really looking for you guys to come out and support Cafecito Comedy on that show, guys. Please come out. It's going to be great. And some of the prizes that we already have purchased for you guys that are going to be coming out are really cool. So cool that we've been like flaunting them around the Improv before we get them settled and done away with the actual show. But that's super cool. We also next week don't have a flyer for this show just yet, but we want to call it out and look ahead already. already. We have Bay Club happening next week on Monday, guys. It is going to be a really fun show, as it always is at Bay Club. You know the pizza is going to be good, but this is a little bit better of a Bay Club episode happening because we have our man Art Roach also on the lineup. Correct, Art?
Yep, I'm excited. Just confirmed with Will this morning, so I'll be on the show. I mean, dude, the last couple of weeks of shows, the eighth anniversary shows, they were amazing. You know, we had great talent, and I'm very, very excited about being on there again. It'll be my second time at Bay Club. And speaking of Bay Club, the person who was definitely there the last 2 times, killing it, was our man Gene right here.
Yeah,
I think a favorite of Bay Club. You're there almost every time I swing by, man.
Then you must be on my schedule. I don't even be there that much, but it is one of my favorite spots, though.
Dude, you're absolutely. I mean, what is he? I mean, obviously you perform everywhere. You perform at clubs. You perform, but what do you think it is about Bay Club specifically that just kind of brings the vibe, man? Every time there's a show there, it's a good show.
I started to wonder that right for a while, but I think it's the food. I think because the people there that go there, they look special, right? Like. Picked out of a movie type shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like Hollywood, and then I caught on, like the food is that good, so beautiful women come out there, they eat. Because sometimes some people will come to that spot and not even know there's a comedy show happening.
Right.
They be sitting outside eating good food, and next thing you know, they hear, a 9/11 joke, and then they start paying attention. I ain't saying that's funny, I'm just saying.
That's what breaks the.
You know what I'm saying? If you hear something like that, then you turn around. Next thing you know, you're in a comedy show. But
I mean, I love the vibe because even like DJ Tillery James there,
DJ Till.
just setting the vibe for the whole night. We always talk about it. Will has like a special kind of comedians table where even if you're not performing that night, you can get to hang with other comedians. He'll buy you a drink. He'll hook you up. Last week I think he bought like two pizzas, had them on the table, just letting everybody eat.
Right.
So I think kind of cultivating that vibe. But you're absolutely right about the people. I mean, the people that you get there. I don't think there's a lot of other comedy shows in Miami.
Look like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about superstar models, and even like Mark, the owner. Even that guy, like he's a good-looking guy, man. You always see him hanging out with the people he hangs out with are always like supermodel type people.
Yeah.
It's just that crowd, man, and it's crazy because you go out there and it's Miami. They do. There's other shows that happen in like that area, but there's something about Bay, like that spot. Right. It's that spot. That's the only one. You can go to a spot 5 minutes down the street on Collins, and it'll be different crowd.
100%.
And last week, Dr. Alex Maurizio brought Bruno.
That's right.
And dude, just as promised. I mean, I was hanging out I'm holding Bruno on the leash.
Sacha Baron Cohen, a dog.
Right.
He was there.
Yeah.
I'm holding onto the leash, and just literally as people are walking by, they just stop immediately. Oh my God. Just engaging with people because the dog is there. So
why you think he got it?
Yeah. Smart man.
So the dog was barking?
Nah.
Yeah. Barking for the show.
Barking for the show. Yes.
That's a proper response to that.
I got one in. Let's go. But that is our look ahead for next week, guys. And now we can slowly transition right now into my favorite part of the show now, the interview portion, man. Gene, you've been doing this for a minute now. You're super seasoned in the game, and it does show anytime you hit the stage anywhere. Like anytime I've ever seen you at a show, it's one of those moments where like all the comics are like, if you're all outside just chilling, having like talking, they could be out there for an hour and a half. You show up and it's like, oh, he's on stage. Everyone's like, yo, we got to go inside.
Oh, that's dope.
It's true. It's true. It's one of those things that it's like, very few comics have that prestige, but you not only have that, but you carry yourself really well with that in mind. What was it that when you started in comedy, what was it that got you into it? Like, how did you transition from just being normal person to now I'm comic?
Man, I got married. And I was like, yo, son, if you could get married, you could do anything. And that was it. Like, it was that year, because I didn't think I was ever going to get married, right? And I wrote a lot of jokes before, but being a comedian wasn't a viable job in my head, right? So I didn't take it serious. So I proposed to my ex-wife, they should have a party for like how you get out of a marriage. Like, you know how they show the engagement? They should show like the end of it. You know what I mean? Like when we both decide like this shit ain't working. You know what I mean? And then do like a moment. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that and I'm gonna write it into something. But I'm gonna start a tradition where like it's a process. Once you know it's over and you're getting divorced, then you have not just a party, but like some kind of ceremony. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
like a funeral,
Like a
for the
funeral
wedding.
for the wedding,
But
a funeral for the
but it ain't
relationship?
gonna be dark like that.
A celebration of life.
It's gonna be a celebration of something. But anyway, so
Call it Emancipation Proclamation.
once I got that done, once I was about to get married, I couldn't have any more fears. You know what I mean? Because getting married was one of my biggest fears. It still is. It's back to number one again. Right? But at that time, comedy was like right there, like, damn, just do something. You wrote all these jokes. And then finally, I got on stage. We could curse here, right?
Yeah.
All right. The first time I did comedy was at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. And I brought so many people that I couldn't, like I was trying to back out. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember right before the show, I was sitting there nervous. Like every liquid was trying to leave my body. And I was like, yo, just go home, son. Why are you putting yourself through this torture? Like, you don't need to feel this fear. Go home, hide under the bed, and don't talk to nobody for like a year. And as I was really entertaining, like leaving, I saw people just started coming around the corner for me. So I had mad people there. So they let me pick my spot. And I was number 5 on the list. And a comedian that went up before me, I don't remember him. He was a guest, he was doing a guest spot. And he came in, he got on stage and he said, I just moved to San Francisco. And for years, I watched commercials, the Rice-A-Roni commercials, and they say Rice-A-Roni was the San Francisco treat. I've been out there for like 6 months. The San Francisco treat is dick. And the crowd lost it. And now I'm back there like, oh, I can't follow this. Like, there's no way I'm doing this. And that's just how it happened. I went up, I did my set, and nobody left, nobody booed, and that was it.
And approximately how long ago was that?
16 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, 16 years ago, 2009. I should have known from that first set that my marriage was going to last too much longer after that. Because as the comedy got better, the relationship got worse. That's what it is. There's a direct relationship between your comedy career and your personal life.
Amen.
You probably have a wonderful personal life.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. I have no problems. I don't know. You're right. It's going smooth. So I guess that's what the problem is. One of the first places I ever saw you perform, I've talked to you about this before, was at the Comedy Inn. Big shout out Comedy Inn. And it was I had started doing comedy about 2 or 3 months, and I went to go watch, and you were there both nights, and you absolutely, you were on that night. You just killed it, and you were looking fresh. You had a fresh cut, and I looked at you, and in my mind I pictured that you were even younger than I was. You had just started doing comedy, and it's like, man, how is this guy so good? Like this guy, every joke, everything, even the little riffs, even the little things that you kind of seemed to say, kind of brought it back into your set. Mm-hmm. And it was only talking to you after the second show that I realized you had been doing this for years. You know what I mean? You'd gotten your reps in, and it gave me confidence to say, man, this is a skill. This is something that somebody can develop into something that looks easy, but it's actually mastery over years, you know? Mm-hmm. And before we started, you kind of alluded to something. That's what I want to ask is kind of about finding yourself. And you alluded to it now when you said about marriage, but like, if you don't mind describing that process of like, well, kind of found myself, I found what I was trying to do, and it let me break free and let me express myself a little bit easier.
Well, when people say, when people used to say finding yourself, it used to bore me because it was so cliche and it was so like, I guess, impractical. What does that mean? You know what I mean? What you mean, find yourself? It is, whatever, right? That's how I used to look at it until I went through some real trauma in my life. And we all got our own stories, so my story is no more special than anybody else's. But what the difference with my story is, it was the first time, like in my head, I was forced to look at myself. You know what I'm saying? I was forced to like deal with my shit. Nobody else, nobody else's concerns. It was just me. And a lot of times we don't do that. Even, or especially as comics, we think we funny, or we think we wrote something funny, and then we just push that out. And that's the persona that we sell all the time. You know, you as a comic, you as that person. And then we never really address the real person that we are. So anyway, I finally, like, going through this drama, like, when I started really taking inventory of myself, doing comedy became easier. Doing anything became easier because, I don't know, I said this once before on one of my skits, but like, the biggest bully you will ever face is yourself. And once you could go meet that motherfucker in the yard, 3 o'clock, because you know it's on, the fight is like that. When you could go through that, so that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing like a, not necessarily a better comic, but a better human being. And it's just translating more on my jokes. Even, let me tell you something, nobody even could bomb better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do it so beautifully. Like, if my jokes ain't working or the crowd ain't feeling me, I don't know what it is, but like, I've already tapped into that space where like they can't change how I feel about me. So I don't let them. I don't let the lack of laughter, the silence. Yeah. I don't let none of that stop me. And then in turn, people come back around. Cause you know how it is, like you do a joke and if people don't laugh, once the crowd thinks they got you, oh, they get abusive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Once the crowd feel like they own you, oh, you know what I mean? The heckling comes a little more, the little jabs. So I don't let them get me. That's all it is. That's the only difference. Same jokes.
Well, that's one of the things you mentioned about doing the same joke. And it's like, for me, it's like when you read a book when you're 13 years old and you read it again when you're 18, you read it again when you're 30, same book, but you get such, you know, you see yourself as different characters in the book, or you see yourself as, you know, from a different point of view 100%. In the same story. So with jokes, I can imagine how as you've matured as a person, as a comedian, you go back to those jokes, either fine-tuning them or even the way you're selling them now is better or more mature than it was in the past. Right. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm turning 40 this year, and I started doing my hair like this. So, you know.
Never do that again.
So,
I'm about to say, doing what? You did something on purpose with that?
Well, I mean, my hair, you know, I decided to take life on ultra hard mode, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's the same kind of thing. Is like I always took myself a little too seriously, you know, and like the hair was kind of a representation of that. Of like, hey, take yourself, you know, take a little beating. You know, let your friends bust your balls a little bit. Have fun with it. Yeah, don't be overly concerned about.
Your hair told you that?
Yeah, no, I think he's lying. I think he's just lazy. I think Art just likes to not brush his hair out of the shower, and that's what happens.
Well, yeah, yes, but then embracing that as part of who I am is what I'm saying.
Oh, so it's
we're talking about maturity here. Don't worry about it. We'll get back to you here in a second.
Understood. You got a little like mullet fro hanging out of the back of that hat.
Still in the back?
Yeah.
See, let me tell you something. Look, first of all, thank y'all for both wearing my merch, my hats, right? But second, I got mine here too, right? I purposely ain't put it on because I don't like shocking women with my forehead. Like, I like to bring it out, so you can know what you're working with, and then I could throw the fitted on. You know what I mean? He gonna look whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do it
right off.
Because the shock that you just gave us when you took that hat off, son, like
too much.
Too much.
Okay.
That was on a different level, dude. No, I mean regular hair art right now.
I'm gonna let everybody breathe this in first before I put this hat on.
Smart.
I can't go back.
You should see the reaction that people have when I pull off a ski mask. They're like, they just hand me their wallet. They're like, here you go.
Yeah, with that hair, I can imagine. Anyway, so Gene,
I ain't falling for this trap, by the way. I was about to light you up real quick, but I was
that's what we're here for, man.
I would say please do.
Well, so speaking of lighting people up, so this week I think you're gonna be over at the Tortuga, the Tortuga festival.
Just so you know, you don't need no mask.
Listen, man, don't worry. I was born this ugly. I've had 39 years to adjust to it, so it's all good.
Nice.
I've gotten used to the shrieks of people in the street, you know.
It ain't that bad, son. What you talking about? Like, stop selling yourself short. just walk in with dimmer lighting.
Yeah, I do a lot of blue lights.
Tell everybody, turn your phones off, and then walk in the room.
Well, we are working on an AI filter for the show
Yeah.
where it just continuously will get better and better.
It's just too expensive.
Yeah.
What is?
The infrastructure to build an AI that could cover up his face
Wow.
and make it look
That's
good.
a homie too.
I'm paying for it. What do you mean? It's even worse.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
No, but I want to talk about this week. If anyone wants to get at you without it being a comedy show, you're going to be over at the Tortuga Festival. It's a music festival.
Yeah, it's a country music festival, so I don't know why I'm gonna be there. But they got different acts. Like last year, I saw Teddy Swims. So this year they got Ludacris. So I guess I'll bring my aunties for him. But yeah, I'm doing some guest bartending right across the street at Bows Beach.
Hell yeah.
So if you at Tortuga, oh, that's my camera. So if you at Tortuga this weekend, April 4th, 5th, and 6th, come see your boy Gene Harden. I'm not telling jokes. Nah, I might tell some jokes, but they're not gonna be for free. I'm mostly
yeah.
bartending that weekend, so come through.
Hell yeah, man. Come see your boy. Come support. I mean, I love bumping into people that I know from the comedy scene when I go to other places,
See them bagging at Publix.
Yeah. No, and to see you working, oh, that would be great. I would love to get there. And
That's if you can get in though. Like it's madness.
yeah,
I don't know if you ever been to that festival.
I haven't been, but I've heard it's
but
crazy.
across the street from there is going to be nuts.
I mean, it's right on the beach, but like any festival is just madness though. I ain't know that till I went to my first one in Red Rock,
Oh yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Madness though. I'm gonna start doing festivals more often.
I mean, bro, the festival scene is crazy, and now that it's cool actually seeing how it's expanded into comedy too.
Yeah, that.
Like now they have like festivals like Skankfest that are massive, massive festivals that happen once a year that people come out to from across the country. I think that's happening in Austin this year, correct? Skankfest.
Yeah.
And then they also have like the Fully Loaded tour, like Burt Kreischer's Fully Loaded tour.
Okay.
It's kind of like a festival. It's just Burt Kreischer, but he comes through with.
Well, it is a festival because you're right. It starts in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole 6 comedians, and then another 6 comedians, and he comes on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's
And
all day.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's at they did it at the amphitheater, West Palm.
Yeah, vendors, everything. It's cool to see that now comics have kind of like expanded into that, taking that entertainment route. You know what I mean?
And have you heard of the Vice City Comedy Festival? It just launched this year. A couple of people from Allison McCoy and Tarek, they're the ones that kind of launched it. It was the first year I hadn't even heard of it until it was already going on. We had them on and interviewed them. But next year, they're definitely going to be trying to grow it a little bit with a lot more local talent. It'd be amazing to see you headlining one of those. Because they have like a big headliner each night at one of the venues. And they highlight venues, they highlight local comedians, and then they'll kind of boost you up with a couple of local acts as well to really maximize it,
Yeah.
So cool. But if I see when they post when they want to do it, I'll send it over to you. Make sure you.
But that'd be dope.
Yeah, because they're actually like having people. They explained it to us. Basically, they had like outside judges who judged the people that were going to be on. So it wasn't even like them. There was no bias, basically, which is pretty cool. Helps get better talent and more
For sure.
variety. Absolutely. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the merch. So you talked about these new hats. Are these hats available online? Is there anywhere where people can get them? Or
So I got merch online. You can go on my Instagram page, go on my link tree. But these hats are specifically made for in-person meetings. So you got to come to the shows. You got to know me or know where I live. I think the world has had enough. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, you can get these live. See me wherever I'm at.
and if you see someone wearing this at a following show, what kind of love are they going to get?
I just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see people, I ran into somebody, I had one of my shirts on. I had a t-shirt. It's just fun, you know what I mean? It makes you feel like you neighbors. I mean, that you famous at your local bodega. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't mean nothing else.
No, I mean, look, as someone who wants to, we're kind of working on some comedy calendar stuff that we want to put out there. And yeah, man, I mean, just seeing your work kind of come back to you, and this is, your work. So I know you're being a little bit humble about it, but I'd love to, I can't wait to see them everywhere, man. Let's get these hats out there. Let's get the merch out there. Get everyone in South Florida repping some Hey Doc merch.
You know what it is? I'm not trying to be humble, but I'm also not trying to not be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being. And again, that comes back to, I like me now. You know what I'm saying? So so all that stuff is coming. I used to think that I was being lazy with this comedy career. Maybe I was, but it's all starting to happen now, and I feel like this is like my first 5 years in comedy because things are starting to move, and maybe because I'm moving in that direction. You know what I mean? Who knows?
So what do you in what ways are you seeing now kind of the fruits of your labor paying off? Like what's different now than maybe a year ago?
Well, I'm getting more interest, right? More people asking me to perform.
Mm-hmm.
More people are respecting my new, my fiscal boundaries. Like I can't do the cheap shows anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't necessarily for the need for more money, but just the need for more, not respect, because they gave me the respect, but like once you start treating your world as that business and you charge accordingly, then that's pretty much where it goes from there. So I'm
start with valuing yourself.
Yeah,
first.
that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm repackaging Gene Harding, and it's an easy thing not necessarily easy, but it's an attainable thing for everybody to do, no matter what you're going through in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just repackage yourself, rebrand yourself, do what it is that you feel, that person that you want to become, be that person, and package it as such. So that's what's different now.
I know you have a big show coming up at the end of April at Sadman.
Mm-hmm.
How did that? I mean, are you headlining that show, or how did that show kind of come about? Where's the idea there?
Sadman Comedy Cafe in Boca Raton, new hidden gem, and it's been there I think a couple of years now. Run by David Sadman and Nadeem Awad, and 2 comics, by the way. And I don't know, they just they put a nice little fit together in that spot. So anytime you get up there, it feels like a home run. Maybe because it's intimate, maybe because of the people that go there. I don't know. Well, the best is to watch like the older Jewish women like walk by and audition the spot, because they don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta lure them in with some bakeries and.
I've been to Sadman a couple of times, performed there I think once only, and it's like we said, it's an intimate room, because I mean it's a lot of like before the show starts, everyone's kind of hanging out outside, and when the show's gonna start, it's like everybody moves in,
right.
And that space is only for the show.
Right.
You're not really hanging out there before or after, so everyone comes in, sits down, they got their drinks already, lights go off, and the room it's tight, but it probably fits 80 people, 75.
No, it's like 50.
50?
Yeah.
So but it feels like, because I mean they're right there, shoulders to
They
shoulders.
got that New York vibe though,
Yes.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you could go to a small rinky-dink spot in New York, and it'd be small but intimate, but they engage, they there, and then the jokes just be hitting better. I don't know. I just like that spot. Yeah.
No, and they do a lot of cool stuff. I know they work with, like, Riff Roulette is kind of was birthed there, which is a show that they do. I don't know
They
if you've
still
ever
do
seen
those
it.
there.
Shannon Leline and
Eric Graff and Casey Grave.
yeah, they do a show where basically the audience writes suggestions, and then during the show, during your 15 minutes, you can like click through, and they come up on the board, and then you're able to like.
You have to just riff off of whatever the audience
Oh,
suggested.
that's dope. Where's that?
They do it at
Sadman.
Sadman.
They
Oh,
do,
word.
They do them everywhere else. We just did one at the Improv last week. They've done them in
Yeah.
different spots
It's
as well.
really
but
cool
it's
because also one, you get to interact with people, right? But it's not your material, right? It's brand new stuff that you're riffing off of, so you might get some new stuff out of it. But also, if you film it, you can burn that material because it's not a joke you've been polishing forever, right? So you say something funny, you get the laugh, you can post it online, and it kind of pays itself off. So it's really cool. I like to see that kind of stuff. And Sadman is the place where you can try that kind of stuff, where somewhere else it's a big corporate entity, they're not going to let you, or it'd be a harder barrier of entry. Where there, like you said, it's run by comics, so they want to try dope stuff. They want things that are going to get people excited. So it's really cool. Yeah, big shout out Sadman, man. As a matter of fact, we got to get up there, and maybe for your show we'll do that. Maybe I'll get Dart Vision up there to do some clips and stuff, and really get some behind the scenes stuff, because I don't think we've shouted him out a couple of times on the podcast, but we haven't really gotten the visuals there. So
Yeah, we got to give everybody an idea of kind of what we're talking about, because it is a super, super intimate, cool venue, and it's very unique in terms of South Florida, like having that little back room. It's funny that you said New York, because it's like I remember New York specifically going to like a spot called Eastville, where you just go in, it's a regular bar, and then you open one door and you go in, and there's a whole club back there, you know, and it's really, really well done. I think it's something that should be done more in Miami. You know, we have all these like, you know, speakeasies and bodegas, and we have all these different kind of like spots where you have a back room. Obviously, I get it. The club in terms of like music and partying and stuff, yeah, that's fun. But if we turned one of those into a comedy club, I mean, it'd be fantastic. You know, it'd be super dope. So I definitely think that's a strategy that we should bring down here because it works so well up there.
And speaking of New York, I mean, as a comedian, and as I know you traveled a lot, is there or are there any spots that you would shout out? I mean, as far as either comedy or food or anything that you've kind of enjoyed doing traveling. I mean, where's some places that jump out at you?
Before we get out of Florida, I do want to say there are some spots in South Florida that I know when I'm on a bigger scale that I'm going to be coming back to these spots because not only from the love that they showed me, but just for any comic, right? It's just like, so the Comedy Inn, that's the first one down in Pinecrest. Bay Club, Sadman's, like I'll be there next month. But my new top one is Shamrock Comedy Club.
Nice.
The Field.
Have you done that?
I haven't performed there yet, but we've been there.
We've been out there.
Yeah, the Field. Yeah, I just headlined there last week.
Oh, that's right, with Chris Cilio.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so those spots right there, those are the clubs that I know that when I take off and my name is in a lot more spots, I'm gonna come back and like just grace those stages because I don't know, they hold comics down, maybe because most of them are comics, so I guess they know, just like y'all comics, so y'all run a good podcast. It's that vibe, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So those spots, Shamrock Comedy Club, Sadman's, Bay Club, and Mike Levine's Comedy Inn. Yeah, that's it.
Amen, bro. Those are the spots. I mean, that's I've performed at Sadman and Bay Club, but definitely still trying to get those other two in there, you know?
100%. I mean, those, you couldn't have named some better locations down here for a comedy. I mean, most of the comics that aren't performing at the Improv that, you know, are coming down to South Florida are hitting up one of those venues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most of the traveling comics, if you know, for whatever reason, they are in South Florida, they're performing at one of those four places 95% of the time. You know, it's super impressive. I think those are kind of shining examples as we move forward in the scene. More people need to kind of take those models, copy them, and build off them. Really, you know what I mean? Like if you had a Sadman that instead of 50 people, it's at 75, and you still kind of worked it out kind of similarly, it would do amazing. Yeah. And you know, I think we have the infrastructure, we have the comics down here that can do it. So,
and it shows opportunities.
A huge shout out to those spots, man.
And it shows like the kinds of opportunities, like even like Cafecito Comedy, for example, which is kind of like starting to get into that. Basically, like where Shamrock kind of is, like around that kind of level. It shows that there's opportunities. You know what I mean? And if you can find a spot in a venue that will support it, and you can get it going, the talent is down here. As long as you can get some of the funding to be consistent, dude, it'd be amazing. I would love in a couple of years to have a comics add Cafecito Comedy or add Berries, for example.
Oh, it will be too late by then.
Well, for you, yes, but we'll hopefully have the next generation of comedians,
right,
who are bringing, because like that's one of the things I say about South Florida all the time, which is, you know. Well, I'll ask you the question first before I even preface anything. Why is South Florida the best place to do comedy right now?
I don't think it's the best at all.
No, it's fair. That's why I asked.
I don't know about the best. I just know it's working for me and for a lot of people down here. I think you could get acclimated anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You could go to Austin. You can go to New York, LA. A lot of us are doing that. So I don't know what the best is, but I just know it's very good for us right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's working we making the best out of it. In between the seasons, between the storms and just all the shit that goes with Florida. I feel like we put on some good quality shows for the most part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think as comedians, one of the things I always say to our guys is the work that we're doing down here, when I travel and perform, like it translates. Like I do well in other places. Like the comfortability I have with crowd work, for example, stands out in other places where they're not so comfortable. Some of the polishing I've done on the material stands out in some other places. So every time I come back, I'm like, hey guys, it translates. I mean, they got some guys there that are killers, but what we're doing here translates. You can take your stuff and go there, you know? So it makes me happy because at least it's not like I'm doing comedy in the middle of like, I've been to like, no hate, Lakeland, Florida, for example, But like if you're getting your reps in Lakeland, it doesn't quite count as much as if you're getting your reps in South Florida. You know what I mean? You got a lot more spots, a lot more crowds, and the crowds are actually giving you back, so you can develop that skin, that thick skin you need to to bomb or to do really well and still keep it going.
Right.
So. Yeah, I mean, so I ask everyone that question about South Florida to get that kind of candid opinion, because some people hate Florida. I mean, we have a couple of comedian friends that are not hates, but that they're leaving South Florida because they don't see where they can, they don't see where they can kind of get to the next level here, right?
Well, that's fine for them too, though. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't for everybody, and not everybody can make it work.
Right.
You know? So
well, even in my case, for example, like I'm from Brazil, right? So I speak Portuguese, but I also speak Spanish, and I want to do comedy in all 3 languages. Well, down here in South Florida is a perfect place for me, because that's the one place in the world where you can do comedy in those 3 languages consistently.
Right.
There's very few other places in the world where you're going to get that. But that doesn't necessarily translate for everybody, right? If you're not looking towards doing those things, then I can see why going to Austin, for example, would be. If you're only going to do English comedy, then okay, I can see how Austin could be something that makes sense. You know what I mean? In my case, dude, I got a mortgage, so I'm staying down here in South Florida. I can't afford to leave.
Nice. Gene, man, a lot of great insight, but kind of in conclusion, you said you got, you have a bunch of great shows coming up soon. You got a lot of good juju coming your way, hopefully. What are your goals for yourself going into, the end of 2025, maybe 26? And where do you see yourself kind of like that next phase of your career? What do you hope to achieve with that?
That's a great question, especially because I don't have an answer for it. Like, I think and that's the beautiful part about the rebranding and the repackaging of yourself, is like my credo, or my business, my theme, my through line hasn't been defined yet. Like, I don't know exactly where I want my career to go, because I'm enjoying all that's happening now. It could be a stand-up comedy tour. It could be just 1 million followers from my Hey Doc series that I started. You ever watched that?
I have not.
You have not watched it?
I haven't seen it.
Yo, son, feel like this is me. I'm proud to say, man, if you feel like laughing at just some silly shit, I do these skits online where it's me pretending to be talking to my therapist, and it just started taking off because, like we was talking before, like just me facing me, and with that whole theme in mind, that could be another avenue. So I was talking to y'all earlier about I might do a podcast, a book, a one-man show. I got a lot of things that are just now starting to come out, and I just don't know yet exactly how that's going to play out by the end of the year. So that's a great question. I'll have an answer by 2026.
Nice. Well, what I will say is, if you have any big shows and you do plan on filming, we will have, we do have Dart Vision. We work very closely with him, and that's one of the things we're trying to do with that is, as we have the ability and the material to perform for half an hour, to also have the capabilities to capture it with Dart Vision. So if any part of those plans includes getting some stuff on film, or getting some big shows and recaps and marketing things, dude, let us know. We'll definitely get Dart on there. Part of what we're doing is trying to, a lot of dope stuff has happened in comedy over the last 25 years, but not a lot of it got written down. A lot of pictures exist or videos in hard drives somewhere. So part of this is documenting it, putting it, for posterity's sake online. But also in the future, like the reason that LA, New York, and all these places, the reason everyone knows what's going on there is the footage coming out of there. So if our footage can start getting to that level, I want people talking about, man, what the hell's going on in South Florida? I mean, these guys are just back to back to back, badass videos, good content, and all kinds of different comedians from this side of the spectrum to this side of the spectrum are just killing it down there, And then that way it makes it a little bit more of a worthwhile thing,
Nice.
So definitely keep us in the loop, man. And I'm really, really glad to hear. I'm glad to see all the success, man, and literally anything else that you do going forward, man. Like, keep us in the loop. Send it to us. We'll definitely be more than happy to broadcast it here on the channel. That's really what we're here to do, man. And I'll tell you, as a comedian who's kind of on the same road, many, many miles, behind you, I look to see, like merch, for example, the stuff you're talking about doing. I look to see how you're going to solve these problems And I will use those to help me solve the problems for us as we kind of follow behind you. So count on us as well. With anything that we're doing here, bro, that's what we're here for.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I don't know. Y'all came out of nowhere, like with just a nice, solid project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw y'all online. It's funny how, like, you, especially when you watch people and their careers grow online, you don't necessarily know when it started, but you could recognize when it's there. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are there. And now I'm seeing like the production, the help you got behind the scenes. Like y'all there. I'm proud of that. Like I'm taking y'all shit to inspire me to do more things.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah, man. It's honestly, it's been great just not only having a platform that we can use for ourselves to promote our shows, what we have going on, what we have coming up, but to give you guys the comics of South Florida just a mouthpiece for yourselves to come on and just give people insight into who you are. I think, like you said, people see a lot of us on stage and kind of the persona that we create on stage, but kind of breaking down that barrier for 1 second and kind of going deeper into kind of, what really makes a comic, and what it really takes to be a comic down here in South Florida, I think has been so great. And you honestly have given us such great insight, not only in kind of what a journey into this career looks like, but also what it takes and kind of what is required of somebody to do it at a high level. So I tip my Hey Doc hat to you, man, for real.
Cheers.
For real. Thank you. But guys, that has been this week's edition of the South Florida Comedy Calendar. So much great information here for you guys. If you're a brand new comic in South Florida, I think this is one of those interviews that you cannot miss. Check it out, the full interview on YouTube at Community Newspapers or at Comedy Calendar SoFlo, guys. You do not want to miss a morsel of what we just talked about, guys. Really, really happy with this interview and really happy that you guys are tuning in to Comedy Calendar. Thank you so much. As we say every single week, guys, we will see you next time. Keep laughing.